Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Kati Shadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Shadma Bandamui Shavadhana Mate Bandamui Shavadhana Mate Jahar prasade bhai e bhavatoriya jai Jahar prasade bhai e bhavatoriya jai Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoite Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoite Guru mukha padma vaikya chittete koriya oikya আর না করিও মনে আশা শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি এই সেই উত্তম গতি যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সে। চক্ষুদান দিল যে জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সে। দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদয়ে প্রকাশিত, দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদয়ে প্রকাশিত। প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্যা বিনাশ যাতে। প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্যা বিনাশ যাতে। বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত, বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত। শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু। শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু। লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন, লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন। আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া। আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া। আহা এবে যশ গুসুক ত্রিভুবন, এবে যশ গুসুক ত্রিভুবন। শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু। লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন, শিল প্রভুপাদ লোকের জীবন। শিল প্রভুপাদ পতিত পাবন। আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া। আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া শিল প্রভুপাদ পতিত পাবন শিল প্রভুপাদ পতিত পাবন আয়ে বেজস গুসুক ত্রিভুবন আয়ে বেজস গুসুক ত্রিভুবন আতু আপদে লইলু শরণ আতু আপদে লইলু শরণ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় জগদ্গুরু শিল প্রভুপাদ জয় জগদ্গুরু শিল প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ শিল প্রভুপাদ জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ নমো বিষ্ণুপাদায় কৃষ্ণ প্রেষ্টায় ভূতলে শ্রীমতে ভক্তি বেদান্ত স্বামী নীতি নামিনে नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छारी उठ जीव बल हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण हयग्रीव निसिंह वामन श्रीमधुसूदन ब्रजेन्द्र नंदन श्याम निसिंह वामन श्रीमधुसूदन ब्रजेन्द्र नंदन श्याम যশোদা দুলাল গোবিন্দ গোপাল বৃন্দাবন পুরন্দর গোপী প্রিয় জন রাধিকার মন ভুবন সুন্দর বর গোপী প্রিয় জন রাধিকার মন ভুবন সুন্দর বর রাবণান্তকর মাখন তস্কর গোপীজন বস্ত্র হারি রাবণান্তকর মাখন তস্কর গোপীজন বস্ত্র হারি গজের রাখাল গোপ বৃন্দাপাল চিত্তহারি বংশীধারী ব্রজের রাখাল গোপ বৃন্দাপাল চিত্তহারি বংশীধারী যোগেন্দ্র বন্দন শ্রীনন্দনন্দন ব্রজজন ভয় হারি যোগেন্দ্র বন্দন শ্রীনন্দনন্দন ব্রজজন ভয় হারি নবীন নীরদ রূপ মনোহর মোহন বংশী বিহারী নবীন নীরদ রূপ মনোহর মোহন বংশী বিহারী যশোদা নন্দন কংস নিষূদন নিকুঞ্জ রাস বিলাসী যশোদা নন্দন কংস নিষূদন নিকুঞ্জ রাস বিলাসী কদম্ব কানন রাস পরায়ণ বৃন্দা বিপিন নিবাসী কদম্ব কানন রাস পরায়ণ বৃন্দা বিপিন নিবাসী আনন্দ বর্ধন প্রেম নিকেতন ফুল সরজ কাম আনন্দ বর্ধন প্রেম নিকেতন ফুল সরজ কাম গোপাঙ্গনাগণ চিত্ত বিনোদন সমস্ত গুণগণ ধাম গোপাঙ্গনাগণ চিত্ত বিনোদন সমস্ত গুণগণ ধাম যমুনা জীবন কেলি পরায়ণ মানস চন্দ্র চোকর যমুনা জীবন কেলি পরায়ণ মানস চন্দ্র চকর নাম সুদারস গাও কৃষ্ণ যশ রাখ বচন মন মোর নাম সুদারস গাও কৃষ্ণ যশ রাখ বচন মন মোর নাম সুদারস গাও কৃষ্ণ যশ রাখ বচন মন মোর নাম সুদারস গাও কৃষ্ণ যশ রাখ বচন মন মোর হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে জয় গৌরনিতায় 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 জয় গৌরনিতায় জয় কৃষ্ণ বলরাম কৃষ্ণ বলরাম কৃষ্ণ বলরাম জয় কৃষ্ণ বলরাম জয় রাধা শ্যাম সুন্দর রাধে Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Prem Si Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Shri Bhakti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki, Shri Jagat Puri Dham ki, Ganga Mai ki, Yamuna Mai ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Srimati Tulsi Devi ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanand. All glories to some of the devotees, all glories to some of the devotees, all glories to some of the devotees, all glories of our Sri Guru and Sri Garanga, all glories.
Lord Vamanadeva ki jai. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, one should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny, for discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the three worlds. This is Lord Vamanadeva speaking to Bali Maharaj. Material existence causes discontent in regard to fulfilling one's lusty desires and achieving more and more money. This is a cause for the continuation of material life, which is full of repeated birth and death. But one who is satisfied by that which is obtained by destiny is fit for liberation from this material existence. A Brahman who is satisfied with whatever is providentially obtained is increasingly enlightened with spiritual power, but the spiritual potency of a dissatisfied Brahman decreases as fire diminishes in potency when water is sprinkled upon it. Lord Vamanadeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are breaking the Ekadashi fast. If you haven't broken the Ekadashi fast as yet, you have till 8:37. You have another 37 minutes to go if you would like to do that. And Harinam Sankirtan today at the football game. The football game is going to go on, rain or shine. And so we have to also be determined to be out there, rain or shine. So we leave here at 1:30 and bring your raincoats if necessary. And we'll just chant for all those who come by there. And of course, when we go out, we actually chant for the pleasure of Krishna, but also for the pleasure of all these conditioned souls. Jai. Ganganarayan Prabhu said a big flower fell from Lord Krishna's here when I said rain or shine. So I just want to remind everybody that it's election time and we need to get two spots are available for board member. So if you would like to run as a board member, or you would like, or someone else would like, someone else who would like to run, please let us know. You can call the temple office or you can let me know. And here are the devotees who have assisted their guru in dressing the deities today. Shri Shri Radhe Shyam were dressed by Mother Mantrini. Chota Radhesham by Mother Leela, Sri Sri Krishna Balaram by Mother Nanda, Chota Krishna Balaram by Mother Govinda Mohini, Sri Sri Gaurnitai, Bhadra Prabhu, Chota Gaurnitai, Mother Sri Vrindavan, the Gurus and Lord Nrsingadev by Mother Madhuri Gopi. And today is Nitai Priya's birthday. So please, Haribo, please bless her so she can continue in her service for a very long time, worshipping the deities and heading up the Pujari department. And today's class will be given by Krishna Keshava Das, your humble servant. So today being Lord Vamana's appearance day, we will sing Dashavatar Stotra from Gitavali by Sri Jayadev Goswami. Pralaya payodhi jale dritavana siveram vihita vahitra charitram akeram. Keshavadrita Meena Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. Shitiriha vipulatare tishtati tava prishte dharani dharana kina chakra karishte. Shitiriha vipulatare tishtati tava prishte dharani dharana kina chakra Keshavadrita Purma Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Vasati Darshana Shikhare Dharani Tavalagna Shashini Kalanka Kalevani Magna Nashikare Dharani Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Savakara Kamala Vare Nakamadbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhuta Vamana Padanakhani Rajanita Jana Pavana Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Kshatriya Rudhiramaya Jagat Tapagata Papam Sapayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatapam Abhagata Papam Sapayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatapam Keshavadrita Brigupati Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Brigupati Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Vitarasi Dikshurane Dikapati Kamaniyam Dashamukha Mauli Balim Ramaniyam Dikshurane Pati Kamaniyam Dashamukha Mauli Balim Ramaniyam Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Keshavadrita Rama Sarira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Mahasiva Pushi Vishadeva Sanam Jaladabham Alahati Bhiti Nilita Yamunabham Pushi Vishadeva Sanam Jaladabham Alahati Bhiti Nilita Yamunabham Keshavadrita Aladhara Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Nindasi yagya videra Shruti jatam Sadaya hridaya darshita pashughatam Shruti jatam Sadaya hridaya darshita pashughatam Keshavadrita buddha sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Nilachaniva nidhane kalayasi karavalam Dhumaketumiva kimapi karalam Kalayasi karavalam Dhumaketumiva kimapi karalam Keshavadrita Kalki Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Keshavarita Kalki Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Sri Jaya Deva Kaveri Damoditadaram Shinu Sukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram Kaveri Damoditamodaram Shinu Sukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram Keshavadrita Dashavidha Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Keshavadrita Dasavidha Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Shri Dasavatar ki Jai, Shri Vamana Deva ki Jai. Okay, so let's read the translation since it's up there. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hare, who have assumed the form of a fish, all glories to you. You easily acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish, just to give protection to the Vedas, which had sunk in the turbulent sea of devastation. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a tortoise, all glories to you. In this incarnation as a divine tortoise, the great Mandara mountain rests upon your gigantic back as a pivot for churning the ocean of milk. From holding up the huge mountain, a large scar-like depression is put on your back, which has become most glorious. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a boar, all glories to you. The earth, which had become immersed in the Garbodak ocean at the bottom of the universe, sits fixed upon the tip of your tusk like a spot upon the moon. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of half man, half lion, all glories to you. Just as one can easily crush a wasp between one's fingernails, so in the same way the body of the wasp-like demon Hiranyakashipu has been ripped apart by the wonderful pointed nails on your beautiful lotus hands. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahman, all glories to you. O wonderful dwarf, by your massive steps you deceive King Bali, and by the Ganges water that has emanated from the nails of your lotus feet, you deliver all living beings within this world. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Brigupati Parshuram, all glories to you. At Kurukshetra, you bathe the earth in the rivers of blood from the bodies of the demoniac Kshatriyas that you have slain. The sins of the world are washed away by you, and because of you, people are relieved from the blazing fire of material existence. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Ramachandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroy the 10-headed demon Ravana and distribute his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions headed by Indra. This action was long desired by all of them, who were very much harassed by this monster. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Balram, the wielder of the plough, all glories to you. On your brilliant white body you wear garments the color of a fresh blue rain cloud. These garments are colored like the beautiful dark hue of the river Yamuna, who feels great fear due to the striking of your plowshare. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Buddha, all glories to you. O Buddha of compassionate heart, you decry the slaughtering of poor animals performed according to the rules of Vedic sacrifices. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Kalki, all glories to you. You appear like a comet and carry a terrifying sword for bringing about the annihilation of the wicked barbarian men at the end of the Kali Yuga. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed these 10 different forms of incarnation, all glories to you. O readers, please hear this hymn of the poet Jayadev, which is most excellent, an awarder of happiness, a bestower of auspiciousness, and is the best thing in this dark world. O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you, who appear in the forms of these 10 incarnations. In the form of Matsya, you rescue the Vedas. As Kurma, you bear the Mandara mountain on your back. As Varaha, you lift the earth with your tusk. And in the form of Nrsimha, you tear open the chest of the Daitya Hiranyakashipu. In the form of Vamana, you trick the Daitya king Bali by asking him for only 3 steps of land, and then you take away the whole universe from him by expanding your steps. As Parshuram, you slay all of the wicked Kshatriyas, and as Ramachandra, you conquer the Rakshasa king Ravan. In the form of Balram, you carry a plough with which you subdue the Daitya king Bali by In the form of Balaram, you carry a plough with which you subdue the wicked and draw toward you the river Jamuna. As Lord Buddha, you show compassion toward all the living beings suffering in this world. And at the end of the Kali Yuga, you appear as Kalki to bewilder the Malechas, degraded low-class man. Sri Vamana Deva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela chapter 8, two texts, text number 247 and 248. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So this chapter 8 is called Talks Between the Lord and Ramananda Rai. Sampattira madhye jive kon sampatti gani Radha Krishna prema ryana se baradhani Sampattira madhye jive kon sampatti gani Radha Krishna prema yara se baradhani Sampattira madhye jive kon sampatti gani Radha Krishna prema yara se baradhani Sampatti gani Radha Krishna prema se baradhani. Mothers? Sampatire madhye jive kon sampatti gani Radha Krishna prema se baradhani Radha Krishna prema se baradhani. Okay, word for word. Sampattira, riches. Madhye, among. Jivera, of the living entities. Kon, what? Sampatti, the wealth. Gani, we accept. Radha Krishna, to Srimati Radharani and Krishna. Prema, loving service. Yana, whose. Say, he. Bara, very great. Dhani, capitalist. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, of the many capitalists who possess great riches, who is the topmost? Ramananda Rai replied, he who is richest in love for Radha and Krishna is the greatest capitalist. Purport. Everyone in this material world is attempting to acquire riches to satisfy the senses. Actually, no one cares for anything other than acquiring material possessions and maintaining them. The wealthy are generally accepted as the most important personalities in this material world. But when we compare a material man of wealth to one wealthy in devotional service to Radha and Krishna, the latter is found to be the greatest capitalist. According to Srimad Bhagavatam 10:39-2, Kimmalabhyam Bhagavati Prasanne Shri Niketane Tathapi Tat Pararajan Nahi Vanchanti Kinchana. What is difficult for the devotees of Lord Krishna, who is the shelter of the goddess of fortune? What is difficult for the devotees of Lord Krishna, who is the shelter of the goddess of fortune? Although such devotees can obtain anything, O king, they do not desire anything. Number 248. Dukkha madhye kona dukkha, dukkha madhye kona dukkha hai gurutara. Krishna bhakta viraha vina dukkha nahi dekipat. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, of all kinds of distress, what is the most painful? That's probably one of our questions also. Sri Ramananda Rai replied, apart from separation from the devotee of Krishna, I know of no unbearable unhappiness. Purport. Concerning this, Srimad Bhagavatam states, Mam anaradhya dukharta kutumba saktamanasaha satsanga rahito martyo vridha seva parichutaha. A person who does not worship me, who is unduly attached to family, and who does not stick to devotional service, must be considered a most unhappy person. Similarly, one who does not associate with Vaishnavas or who does not render service to his superior is also a most unhappy person. There is also a statement given in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita 1.5.44. Swajivanadhikam pratyam Shri Vishnu janasangataha vichedena shanam chatra nasukham sham labhamahi. Out of all kinds of desirable things experienced in the life of a living entity, association with the devotees of the Lord is the greatest. When we are separated from a devotee, even for a moment, we cannot enjoy happiness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Vivau Prabhiti Namine Shri Shri Vindatu Vivira Parapankajadayani Prabhupada Navadaya Namaha Shri Virabhave Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the translation again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, of the many capitalists who possess great riches, who is the topmost? Ramananda Rai replied, he who is richest in love for Radha and Krishna is the greatest capitalist. So Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continue their discussion, their dialogue, and Ramananda Rai is continuing his answer to the questions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Prabhupada described that a capitalist is one who is always looking for money, always looking for riches. And here also, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, who is the topmost of all those who have money? Who is the topmost? Those who have riches and wealth. So we probably think of, Rockefeller or Ford or in this world, try to compete and try to compare who has most money. I don't know what's the most money someone has in this world. Maybe maybe $100 billion or something like that. But Sri Ramananda Rai, his answer is, he who is richest in love for Radha and Krishna, that person is the greatest capitalist. So there are many people who are rich and wealthy in the world. And Srila Prabhupada, he has given us the yardstick to measure wealth. And here also Ramananda Rai is saying that. The richest in love for Radha and Krishna is the greatest capitalist. And many devotees, they think, well, I don't actually have love for Radha and Krishna. I just want to go out on book distribution, or I just want to go out and help people understand, take these books and understand spiritual life, that they are not these bodies, but they are spirit soul. So by Srila Prabhupada, because he has so much love for Radha and Krishna, and he is giving us this message to go out and tell people about this, and to spread this message of what real wealth is. And we see a lot of times when you go out and you talk to people, you can immediately see that they have an attraction for this type of knowledge, that we are not these bodies, we are the spirit soul, and they become more interested in wanting to know about this type of knowledge. So spiritual knowledge, Srila Prabhupada mentioned so many times, spiritual knowledge, this knowledge, difference between body and soul, is not taught in universities around the world. It is not being given. Even we go to the Santa Fe Community College and we see the students who are there, not very much interested, and many of them don't even know what they're going to be doing in life. They're there and they're going to school, and they're getting their schooling paid for by financial aid, but they don't actually know what they want to do. And many of them will come out. In fact, there was a statement recently that of all the graduates, only 5% of them actually get a job. So many of them end up driving taxi or doing something else. There's so much land if you talk to some of our farmer devotees, they'll say there's so much land to be planted and cared for, and so many things you can grow on the land, you can eat peacefully. But not very many people are interested in that kind of life, simple living. So Srila Prabhupada here said, everyone in this material world is attempting to acquire riches to satisfy the senses. Actually, no one cares for anything other than acquiring material possessions and maintaining them. So by his mercy, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we are getting to understand a little bit of what our life is all about. And he has opened our eyes to another dimension of the world, the spiritual dimension. And we can see here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's going to continue to ask more questions, and Ramananda Rai is going to continue to answer them. And this other question, he says, of all kinds of distress, what is the most painful? And Ramananda Rai replied, apart from separation from the devotee of Krishna, I know of no unbearable unhappiness. There is nothing else that can put one in distress more than the association or the separation from the devotees and the Lord. So I'm not at that level to actually feel that separation, but there are devotees who actually feel that. And ultimately, as we advance more in spiritual life, we also will come to a point whereby we can feel that separation. We see in the Bhagavatam we're reading of the separation of the gopis and especially Srimati Radharani from Krishna. And it is, for me, it's unbelievable and unthinkable of how someone could suffer so much from separation of Krishna. And but definitely it is it's a very, very high knowledge. And we see how the gopis, how they how they suffer, but also happy, very happy inside. I was just thinking of some of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, who also maybe in a infant stage, but how they have given up or surrendered their riches, their wealth in the service of Radha and Krishna, and are on the way. Srila Prabhupada is teaching us how to use wealth properly, how to use money, and how to go on in spiritual life. The first one that comes to mind was Ambarish Prabhu. If you ever heard him speak about how he came to the movement, it's very amazing. He was already, in one sense, he was already trained up. Maybe not trained up, but already had a feeling for something different from all that wealth and the opulence of being in the Ford family, and he's actually left home, living in a mountain. And so when he got the message of Srila Prabhupada, of course, must have been in devotional service before, in order for someone to have that feeling of renunciation. So, but he surrendered when they were going to buy the Fisher mansion. Prabhupada had no money, but he was offering to the man who wanted, I think, 350,000 or something like that. So he said, "We'll give you 300,000." But he had no money. But he was so much in connection with Krishna, knowing that Krishna can give you anything you want. He was so strong and so much indebted and sure about Krishna's position, of that Krishna can give you anything, that he offered $300,000, and actually Krishna did provide through Ambarish Prabhu and Lekha Shravanti. Lekha Shravanti was the daughter of a labor union, is it? And the two of them came together and provided the money. Krishna provided money through them. So there are many others who have given up so many things coming to this movement and coming to the feet of Srila Prabhupada and renouncing so much ultimately in this love for Radha and Krishna. He who is richest in love for Radha and Krishna is the greatest capitalist. So by giving up all these different riches, Jayananda Prabhu, he gave up his life savings of $5,000 to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada also was very grateful for all these devotees who have given up so many. A person's life savings is all he has. He's worked so hard for it in so many years, and it wasn't easy to get that much money at that time. Now $5,000 is hardly anything, but $5,000 in 30, 35 years ago, 40 years ago, was hard to get. But he was willing to give it up. And so this is the example that we are getting of how to make sacrifice for others. Lord Shiva is said to be the greatest in that regard, whereby there's that verse, Tapyante lokatapena, that a devotee of the Lord, he's willing to take on some personal suffering, he's willing to go through some personal difficulty for the pleasure of others. And so when we sacrifice like that, we are actually helping to bring other people closer. We go out in Harinam, or we go on book distribution, or we serve prasadam, or all these different ways that we serve Srila Prabhupada and ultimately Srimati Radharani and Krishna. These are the things, these are the activities that will bring us that feeling also of love, that our love for the Lord, love for our spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, that will also increase as we do more and more activities like this. It's it's already 8:45. So maybe I'll stop there and see if there's any questions or comments. Yeah, Madam Mohanto.
Just to put it in another way about the richest person, I was thinking the richest person is one who has everything he wants. Theoretically, he can buy whatever he wants. So the devotee, he has everything he wants and he's satisfied. Even the richest person, sometimes they have everything that they can buy, but they're not satisfied.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was mentioned like that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a very good point. That we see Srila Prabhupada spoke of Bilva Mangal Thakur, that he was born in a very rich family, but actually he misused his wealth, and it's a tendency of when you're opulent, when you're born in an opulent situation, tendency is to misuse opulence and to become degraded. And Srila Prabhupada said that a little bit about Bilva Mangal Thakur, of how he had so much opulence and he was going to meet a prostitute. And then finally, of course, in his life, he regained that spirituality and actually was able to attain Krishna directly. Today is also the appearance day of Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami, it is said that he lived from 1513 to 1598. Some devotees thought they're not very sure of the dates, but approximately 1513 to 1598. And he delineates his genealogy in Laghu Doshani, which is his commentary on Sanatana Goswami's larger work, Vaishnava Toshani. The genealogy is important because it embodies a little information that exists about Rupa, Sanatana and Jiva's familial background. Jiva Goswami's life and work are emblematic of the Vaishnava way of devotion. He dedicated every moment of his mission of codifying Sri Chaitanya's philosophy for the benefit of mankind. To this end, he organized a movement begun by the 5 senior Goswamis. Consequently, Jiva Goswami is known as the most systematic preacher among the 6 Goswamis and has at times been called the greatest philosopher in all of human history. In fact, Srila Prabhupada has commented that the Vaishnavas are by far the greatest philosophers in the world, and the greatest among them is Srila Jiva Goswami. And his uncles, Rupa and Sanatana, they were also very rich. He talks about boatload of gold coins. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he was very young, but his father was a landowner, and he was considered to be a multimillionaire. Not just a millionaire, but multimillionaire. And he gave up all of that, his desire to go with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and associate with him and serve him was so great that he was willing to give up all that money to be with the Lord. And actually he did. He did later on in his life. Amiya Prabhu.
Ramananda wrote that the greatest unhappiness is to feel a separation or from a devotee. So how can we build such strong, loving relationships that feel this separation?
How do we build a strong relationship of separation? You have to first you have to associate in order to separate. So Srila Prabhupada, how he lived and how he taught his disciples, were constantly meeting and constantly associating, and he set up a system whereby we can continue. Like he set up the whole morning program for us. Coming to Mangalarti, chanting our rounds together. Then there is worshipping the deities, dressing the deities and so forth. Then we have Guru Puja, and then we have a class, and we can hear and chant. We can hear each other speak about the scriptures. And in this way, taking prasadam together, going out and doing different activities together. In this way we associate and we actually develop strong desire. There are many devotees who were friends 40 years ago and still strong friends now. Many of them, and this friendship relationship is actually important because sometimes there is difficulty and we need someone to confide in, and so it's important to have these types of friendships. So this association, Srila Prabhupada gave us these 5 most important items described in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan and so forth. The association of devotees, the chanting of these holy names of the Lord, listening to Bhagavatam class, living in a holy place, and worshipping the deities. These 5 most important items are there in this morning program, and it's important for the devotees to, if we're not able to come every day, at least come sometimes, because it is a protection for us. When Jayadvaita Maharaj was here, he was saying that we may not think of the danger of maybe eating food cooked by outsiders, grains cooked by outsiders. And but little by little, that type of activity, not associating with devotees, not always eating prasadam, or sometimes taking outside grains, it has a subtle effect on the consciousness. And then gradually we develop a desire for that more and more. And then before you know it, we start to associate with others other than devotees, and that's where downfall comes, little by little. So by associating with devotees, and this is a very important part of the day, the morning program. And I know many devotees who have a good excuse for not coming. They actually associate by being on the internet, and it's a very wonderful facility to have, for this, going out on the internet, Krishna.com. And so devotees from not just in our community but all over the world, they can associate like that. What to speak of those who actually attend the morning program? Many devotees out there, they feel inspired by all of you who come to the morning program. And when there is a lot of devotees in the morning program, it's so much nicer than when you have 2 or 3. There are many temples, in America, where there's just a few people, or maybe just the pujari and the cook. So the others are, it's important for them to also join in, because when we do that, then we also inspire other people. So it's not just our own self, but we also inspire others by our attendance, and that's an important thing. So by associating and serving other devotees and so forth, I think that's a wonderful way to maintain the association and develop a strong desire for the association. So when you don't have the association, you feel separation. Sharanga Thakur Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. I was thinking we may feel that we're not rich, that we're not experiencing love for Radha Krishna, and we might lament that we're impoverished because we can't give more to Krishna. But then we can cultivate gratefulness, and we can be there in some way, provide a sense of wealth and appreciation for every little thing that we do have.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the gratefulness is very important, and Madan Mohan Prabhu was telling me just a few days ago of Srila Prabhupada telling one of his disciples that, what was that? Anyway, an ordinary man on the street gave him something, and Srila Prabhupada said, give him some money, give him some coins. And then Srila Prabhupada was mentioning, he gave you something, so now by your receiving it without paying, you become a debtor. So by our receiving this knowledge, we become a debtor, so we have to now show our gratitude by serving. And what does the saintly person want? What does Srila Prabhupada want from us? When devotees would come up to him and say, Prabhupada, what can I do for you? What did you think he answered? Now you go out and do the same thing like I did for you. So because it's a preaching mission, because if we just take and we don't give back, that would become selfishness. So if we get this knowledge and we are actually feeling pleasure and our life has been changed, we are very much indebted to the person or people who have given us that, and therefore, because we are indebted now, we'll have to pay that back at some point. So we better do it now while we have health and strength and we have the faculties to do that, because we become indebted, and then at some point we'll have to pay it back. Okay. Vaikuntha Prabhu. Vaikuntha Prabhu travels all around and also preaches, especially in the Caribbean. They were just in Nevis and the British Virgin Islands and Virgin Gorda and so forth. All those areas. Rajarshi Prabhu and Vaikuntha. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Just a little anecdote. You were mentioning when Srila Prabhupada engaged Ambarish and Lekha Shrivanti, his disciples, in getting the building in Detroit. I've heard this story a few times from a devotee who was in Detroit at the time, that Srila Prabhupada negotiated very successfully to get for such a low price, because the building had been so opulent in its time. You know, the guy who made it was the Body by Fisher guy who made all the chassis for all the General Motors cars. And he brought artisans from Italy, and after Prabhupada negotiated this incredible price that you mentioned, he then told the devotees, he said, actually just the fixtures alone are worth the entire purchase price. It was just so gilded and so opulent, such a, just made for Radha and Krishna's temple.
Yeah, thank you very much. And the guy, actually, the owner, he came back later and started taking off some of this pictures. He came and took out back some of the pictures, and then they had to stop him. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
side of it. Get that, that, that. Sight. Like you can see it from here. That's what I mean. If you're going to show the guy, you should really have a. Well, it's just old stuff that we're not using, you know? Rice and stuff, you know? Oh. And like, you know, from these